Live edition. Welcome.
Hello. Welcome to the live show. Brian, what's going on, my friend?
Just excited about tonight. We've been talking about this for a long time, and we finally are going to do it, I think.
Yeah, here we are. So if you guys are listening, watching, come jump on the show and let's talk about some cryptid stuff. Who we got? We got somebody waiting on. Come on, Brian.
Yes. I'm hoping some more people pop on before we do anything. I don't want
okay. Just waiting for some other people to join until we
Yeah.
bring people on. So what's new with you, my friend? What's going on?
Just enjoying the summertime and
Let's talk about our upcoming
looking
shows.
forward
while
to
we're waiting
football season.
for people to come on here.
Yeah,
to
the
join
upcoming
us.
shows. What do we got? We got one coming up at the end of August.
August 25th at the Ingham Fairgrounds
Up in Michigan.
Michigan. I think
Just
it's
a little south of Lansing.
Lansing. Yep, that's right. So it's just a one-day event there at the fairgrounds. So August 25th, we'll be there. After that, we're going to, was that September? No, October, right? October 14th and 15th, we'll be in Tennessee.
That's right.
At the Wild Man and Bigfoot Conference.
I know that one sounds exciting. I'm looking forward to that one too.
That one.
I'm looking forward to all the shows, but
right. Where the heck is that one at? Where was that show? Do you remember?
What's that?
It's in McMinnville, Tennessee.
Tennessee Wild Man and
It's at McMinnville, Tennessee.
Yep.
At a lodge, I guess, somewhere up there. But anyway, we'll talk more about that as we go down the road here.
Oh, yeah. As we get closer, we'll talk more about it and where it's at and all that good stuff. Who's going to be there? Ron Moorhead's going to be there. I can tell you that much. So that should be fun.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely. Got to meet him. We're waiting to meet him. So I've got a couple of guys messaging me trying to get the link. So just trying to help them out a little bit.
Can you see it up there?
Where?
The link.
Can I see up there? What?
The link. No, it says invite guests.
Oh, hold on. No, I got to go to it. I'm not there.
Who's messaging?
Matt.
We're so professional.
I know, yeah. We're doing this awesome, aren't we? I'm sure you guys are excited.
I'm sure this is you're riveted.
Yeah.
And we got one person on YouTube. Hello, YouTube person.
Who's that?
I don't know. Could be Chance for all I know.
Well, let's bring Chance on and talk to him. Let's see what he's got to say. See if he wants to come on.
I don't know if he wants to.
Let's ask him. Chance, are you there, buddy? You want to come on? He says, I can.
All right. Well, we'll bring on our first person of the night.
All right. Let's welcome Chance to the show.
Let's see what he got. Let's see what he's got going on. What's up, Chance? Welcome to the show, man. Thanks for listening. Oh, wait. I got to unmute him.
There you go. Can y'all hear me now?
Now we got you. All right.
Awesome. How are y'all doing tonight?
Good, man. Good.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. I mean, I don't have a whole lot for y'all, but I mean, me and my friends got done camping a few weekends ago, and we didn't sleep in our we slept locked in the car. So I mean, I could talk about that. I'm sure it's not a whole lot. It's a short one, like I said, but
where were you guys at? Where were you guys at when this happened?
So we're in not central, but kind of midway through California, like right above what's it called? Right above San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
And so we went to this place. It's kind of closer to Sacramento from there. It's in a county called Lake County, and it's like an OHV park. So it's like off-roading trails that you can take your trucks on and stuff, and you can camp, and it's like free use area and stuff. And so we were camping out there. It was me and then like two other buddies of mine. And it was really late. We were sitting by the campfire, just kind of chatting, hanging out. one of my buddies had went to bed, and then my other buddy had started whistling, and he was doing a very distinct whistle. It was like a, it was like 3 or 4, and then it was like, and then he'd stop. He did it a few times, and like I went over to the truck to like, I think I was changing my pants or something, but I heard it again, and I was like, "Hey, was that you?" And he told me no, and I kind of like, I was like, "Oh no." And I went over to him, and he didn't believe me at first. So I'm like sitting there. I'm like, "No, dude, I just heard that. Start looking around." And so we're pointing the flashlight around and stuff, and then he hears it. And then, I mean, that was pretty much it. We both just kind of locked ourselves in the car, and we heard it like once or twice more. But this was at like 2 or 3 a.m. This happened, and there wasn't a whole. Go ahead.
Was there any other sounds going on, or was it fairly quiet other than that?
Really quiet. It was just us. We were being kind of loud. We had a speaker going. We were playing some music, and then we turned that off. When I asked him, I was like, "Hey, did you just do that again?" And he was like, "No." And then I was like, "Dude, I just heard something." And then we sat there and we were just kind of listening, and that's when we heard it again. And we didn't want to sit around and wait no more. We just hopped in the car, but it sounded very, very similar. And I'm pretty skeptical. Like, in the heat of the moment, I was terrified, but like thinking back, it could be some form of bird or something, because I always like to think on the skeptical side. But I don't know. It really had us terrified. It was spooky.
Are you gonna go back to that area, you think?
Probably. They loved it. Aside from that part, we really loved like the area, and like it was really free. Like we saw 1 or 2 other people the entire time we were there, and they were just passing through on a trail. So it's all like,
wow, like
dry. If you want, you can check it out whenever you have time. It's called Knoxville OHV Park. But it's I don't know how many miles it is. It's hundreds, if not thousands of miles of just trails and off-roading area and all that.
And you say that's north of San Francisco then?
Yeah, quite a bit. It's like, if you're in San Francisco, it's probably like 2 or 3 hours north of there. But from where I'm at, it's like an hour and a half north of me.
Okay, gotcha. Well, you're definitely in some big time squatchy area. I mean, you're almost at ground. You're almost at ground zero right there. I mean, you're not too far away from there.
Far from where they found Patty.
Yeah. I mean, I've always been like fascinated with that stuff, man. And I got into your guys' podcast like I want to say a month or 2 ago, and I listen to you guys every single night, like religiously. So it's really cool that I got to come up here and talk to you guys, man.
Well, thanks.
Really
we appreciate you.
Good.
We
That's
appreciate
awesome,
you listening, dude.
Yeah, no worries, man. Yeah, like I said, it wasn't a lot, but it's what I got, man. So,
do you believe in Bigfoot? You said you're kind of a skeptical person. Do you believe in Bigfoot?
You know, I like to think I'm skeptical, but like if you put me out there and like, I don't know, I'll be a believer in the heat of the moment. Absolutely.
What about other cryptids like Dogman and stuff like that? You think those out there?
I am absolutely fascinated by that stuff, man. And I want to say I hope so, but I don't ever want to bump into that. But I really do kind of hope that stuff is real, man. Because like I'm so into it, dude. I'm so into it.
Well, you're not far away from, like we said, ground zero, man.
Yeah.
You need to be out there.
Absolutely. It's more so about convincing my friends, or tricking them into it,
Yeah.
Anyways,
go out there and try to find it if you can. That'd be awesome.
Absolutely, dude.
Heck yeah, man.
Absolutely. That would be sweet. Hey, hopefully, I'll definitely be keeping in touch with you guys, but like by listening to your podcast and stuff.
Absolutely.
Oh, sure, man.
Hey,
shoot us an email sometime.
And you see something.
Yeah, absolutely. No worries, man. Have a good one.
All right, Chance. Thanks, buddy.
Stick with us, buddy.
Chance, that was cool. Thanks for Chance coming on.
Matt just popped up.
Oh, Matt.
Let's see what Matt's got to say.
Bring Matt on, see what he's doing.
Matt.
Gentlemen.
Sorry, man.
How are you guys doing? Thanks for having me.
Good. Thanks for
Good,
coming on.
man. Good.
It's been a little while since I've seen you guys, your faces.
Yes, Matt Imps from episode 116, Something Out of a Nightmare, with his terrifying dogman encounter, to say the least.
Yeah.
Pretty
So
much.
what's been going on since then? I know you sent us some audio that we got to put out
Yeah.
there yet.
Yeah.
Tell us about your little excursion. What was going on?
Well, you know what? I have understandably made a lot more friends since I've been doing interviews on different shows, but you guys will always be the first. So I have to say that.
We appreciate that.
My two
Yes,
men
we do.
and my two boys over here.
Right on, brother.
You guys
That's
are
right,
always the first one I mention, but
Thank you.
you know,
Thank
I've
you.
made a lot of friends on here, and one guy named Ernie Davio, who had an incredible Bigfoot experience, which I need to get you guys set up with him because you guys have never heard anything like this.
Okay.
Really?
So he is
All right.
a really good man, has a good family, his wife Lois, and we've been talking a lot. And you know, he had actually heard my interview on Michael Anthony's show. And him and Russell Easterbrook, the researcher on Bigfoot, both watched it that day, and they said they never really gave Dogman a much thought or thought it just was not really existing. And then they said after they watched me, they totally believe they exist now. So that was, it was nice to hear that Mr. Easterbrook thinks that, because he's well known for his research on Bigfoot. But it got me in touch with them, and it got me in touch with Ernie. Ernie told me he was coming to a Bigfoot conference in Beaver Creek State Park a few weeks ago, which is in the Lisbon, East Liverpool, Ohio area, which just so happens to be like 40 minutes away from me. So I had never been to a conference before. Him and his wife, we met and had dinner for the first time, and he said, "You want to come back to the campsite?" Because he was speaking, I neglected to say, along with a number of other people at this. Jack Warren put on this conference. I said, yeah. And then as we're going there, I learned supposedly in the early 1900s, maybe late 1800s, there was like a flash flood there, killed like 1900 plus people. And supposedly only one person survived. So you guys know, dealing with this world, this crazy, supernatural world you delve in all the time, that's a lot of deaths. That's a lot of energy being, all of a sudden snuffed out and left there. So they said that it's a very active area for supernatural type things. They also said that apparently, and it just so happened to be a conference for Bigfoot.
Where'd you go, Matt? We lost your brother.
I'm still here. Sorry.
Okay.
It kinked out for a second.
That was weird.
Signal.
That's all right. We got you.
We're good.
All right.
It supposedly is frequented by Bigfoot, and then what I was also told is that at the top of this campsite is a portal, supposedly. And what happened is we got to this campsite, first time ever I'd been to a campsite, first time ever I met any of these people. There's a psychic gentleman, well known online. His name's Johnny Freeman. I had never heard of him, never met him. When we got there, started introducing each other, and he came up to me and we said hi, and he just looked at me and said, "You need to go up that trail." I looked at him, I was like, "Huh? What do you mean?" He said,
"Whoa."
We did. Go ahead. You want to say something?
No, I just said, "Whoa, that's crazy."
Yeah, it was, and he ended up going into telling me, "Well, son, I'm a psychic, and one of my best friends is twice the psychic that I am, and we both have seen things here, but she's seen a lot of incredible things. Apparently, she was there a few weeks ago, and according to this woman, I don't know her name, her and her husband were the only ones at this campsite, and they said that they saw a an Indian warrior on a horse ride down this trail, come through the trees, go the other way, past their camp, and disappear. So I found that interesting. Of course, we weren't there, so I'm just going to trust what they had to say. But he told me, he said, you need to go up to the top of this trail. And I look over at the trail and, it's kind of sketchy. And you guys know I've had some orthopedic issues and stuff, and I've had a bunch of surgeries, and I just had my knee replaced 2.5 months ago. And I'm like thinking to myself, yeah, I don't know. But, he explained to me there's supposed to be a portal up there, as some supernatural things occur. And I know that you need to go up top of this. So finally, I just said, okay, I'll give it a shot. And I limped my butt about 30 minutes up this sketchy trail. Over the edge was like a river or stream or something on my left. So if I went over, I'm getting mauled or killed. And I'm just going up, and I have one crutch also I have to add into this story. So I'm using a crutch, and I'm looking down, and I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing? I get to the top of it, and I stopped just shy of, and I sent you guys the picture of that rock formation on that real thin trail. Right around from there was where that portal was supposed to be. And it was just, I just wasn't ready to risk my life to get over all the way, because of the rock formation was sticking out. It would push you off this trail a little bit, and it was really thin there. But I kind of hung on to a tree, and I leaned over the hill, and I saw at least part of it, and it looked semicircular in a natural way. And so I was soaking wet. It was super hot. I sat down. There was just so happened to be a tree laying across there. And I sat down. I took my hat off and wiping my face, soaking wet, breathing heavy, legs killing me. And I calmed down. And about 20 minutes later, I start talking out loud, because I was the only one there. I'm by myself. I had, tried to be quiet and just look around and try and let something happen. So I just said, maybe I should be doing something. And I just started saying, I'm sorry I didn't ask your permission to come on, your land and in this area. I said, I hope I'm not here to harm you. I'm not here, to take anything from.
Lost him again.
That's the second. That was one of the ghosts, probably. Sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. We got him back. It's all good.
And I was just, speaking out loud. If you're here, please, come and see me. I won't do anything. I won't tell anyone I saw you. I just want to see you and be your brother. I was just trying to be as non-aggressive as possible, and nothing happened. So I ended up taking my phone out, and I said, I'm going to do a ghost hunters kind of thing here, what I've seen on TV. I'd never done it in my life before. I was going to do an EVP. So I turned on this one app I happen to have on there, a recording app.
All right, still there.
Yeah, sorry. My wife started calling on the other one. She'll probably call back too. But
oh, you hung up on her?
I
Oh, no.
ghosted her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, you guys are my boys. I ghosted
Hey,
my wife.
If we got to take a little
We got your
intermission,
back,
we can do
buddy.
that. But,
That's
Yep.
right.
Wait
You
for-
guys are the only one. So, and you guys put the recording on, and I just said, thank you for allowing me to be in your home, in your woods, and if you hear the recording, you can hear right after it. You hear the only thing it sounded like to me was a grunt, a very loud, thick grunt. Which, if I were to see a Bigfoot, I never have. I would imagine that's what they sound like when they grunt. And then there was some tree knocks. Happened 4 times, twice, once kind of after the grunt, and then once at the end. And I have to add I didn't hear any of it. I didn't hear the wood knocks. I didn't hear the grunt for sure. And when I played it back right after that, I mean, I immediately snapped up and I said, "Thank you so much. Oh my God, please show yourself to me." Because I knew something was there. And if you listen to the recording, you hear my voice. It's not me making the grunt. There's something definitely somewhere, and it made me wonder, I'm a firm believer that a lot of these cryptids like Dogman and Sasquatch, some of them can do some supernatural things. I don't think they all can. I think some just have a special ability, maybe are older and maybe they learn these things when they get older. Who knows? Um, but there's a supernatural twist to them, and it makes you wonder, were they kind of standing right next to me, like behind a veil, an invisible veil, or we're just not capable as human beings of our physical attributes and our eyes and whatnot, not to see that there's something else standing there, and we just can't see them or sense them. And I was blown away, and I was very thankful when I went back down. It was very scary going down too. And I went to the conference the next day, and that night I only showed the psychic and my buddy Ernie. Apparently other people were bent out of shape because they saw me showing this to people. But I showed the Johnny Freeman, the psychic, first, because he's the one who told me to go. I said, "You need to come over here." And he looked at me. He said, "Good job, man." He's like, "I told you there was a reason you needed to go up there." And I just felt very lucky and blessed, and I still do. And I let everybody hear that was there the next day, and everybody was freaking out and talking about it. And after the conference, I actually decided to turn around when I was just about to get on the highway, and I said, "I'm going back to that site." And I went back to the site, and there was nobody there, which made me very happy. And I took a couple deep breaths, and I went back up this damn trail, and it stunk again, and I was soaked and miserable. And what I had done when I left the conference was I bought 4 arrowheads from this gift shop with a couple.
It's got to be the stream.
I'm back.
All right.
Yeah, I got full
4
bars, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But I had bought 4 arrowheads at the gift shop along with some treats for the road, and I left them along the way. This one not far from where the conference was, where there was no people. There was kind of a rock outcropping coming off, and it just grabbed my attention because the only way you would ever see what's on this outcropping, I'm 6'4", and I reached as far as I could reach to put one up there, is if you were on top of this big, huge hill. You could look down and you could see that this arrowhead was sitting on it. So I figured, put it where no people can see it. Then I went back to the site, which is not easy to find. And I happened to find it, and I, along the way, left them in places where only something, if it was watching me, would see me do it and take them. And I said, "This is for you. This is for your children. I'm a brother. I mean you no harm." I just kept saying it over and over whenever I did it. Finally, I got to the last place, which just looked like to me something special about it. It was off the trail in the middle of the woods, and it kind of had sun shining down in the middle of it on this tree that had fallen. And I started walking through, and I personally have never seen ferns growing naturally in the woods. So there were ferns growing. I was like, "Wow, that's really cool." I don't, I'm from the city. I usually don't see stuff like that. And there were like these moss kind of lichen things growing, and right by the tree where I chose to sit down was this like vegetation. And I sent you guys the picture, and the only thing on it was a little leaf. And I remember getting it off and looking at it and wondering what it was. And I sat down, and I had taken a leaf of the fern, and I put it on the log, and I took the last arrowhead, which was a black one, I think, because black's my favorite color. And I said, "This is my favorite one. I'm leaving this for you." It said the same kind of stuff. I said, please show yourself to me. You know, I just want to show you that I'm your brother. And, you know, I just want to have an experience. And all of a sudden, I kid you not, and I've never had it happen to me. It might have happened the night when me and my friends saw the dog man, because when we were staring into the fire, we were all kind of just zoning out before everything started with the dogs. Maybe it was, but I didn't notice. All I noticed was the water running in the stream. There was all of a sudden zero sound, because there were birds, there were things running through, squirrels, and you know, little chipmunks running through the woods, so you could hear everything. All of a sudden, there was nothing, and I'm like, "Oh crap! It's about to happen! Holy cow!" And I just keep thinking in my head, if you see one, be calm, just be calm. And I'm talking to myself in my head, be calm now. And I didn't see anything, and I closed my eyes, and I was hoping that, you know, someone happened. And I was doing mind speak, because of all the stories you hear that maybe some of them are psychic or have telepathy ability. And I just took a shot at it, and I didn't hear anything. And I opened my eyes, and I had that feeling again, like maybe I'm going to see something. And I braced for maybe seeing a Sasquatch or something, and there was nothing there. I was disappointed. But then I just said goodbye, and, you know, thank you for what you did for me last night. And I stood up and with my crutch, and I looked between my feet, and I sent you guys the picture. There's a big, I think it was a hawk or an eagle. Sorry, guys. And I know for a fact that there was not any feather in my vicinity when I came in there, because I was looking around and I took note of things like the fern plants and this little. All right, we're back. And there was no
what's going on.
There was no feather. I would have saw it. Did you want to say something, Todd?
I was just going to say, you had sent us that recording, and I listened to it, and you could hear the grunt faintly, and then the knocking. I heard that, and we were talking about that, and so what you sent me a copy, so I enhanced the grunt and the knocking.
Yes, you did.
And I got it right here. I think we can play it if you guys want to hear it. This is the enhanced version. So the grunt is enhanced loud, and the knocking is enhanced loud. But this was the noise that was going on as you were doing this. So let's see if we can get this going here. Here we go.
Is there anyone out here with me? Thank you for allowing me to be in your home, in your woods. Do you want to say anything to tell me you're here? What's your name? Is there
I can't hear
here,
anything,
and how many
guys.
of you are there?
You can't hear that? Brian, can you hear it?
I have no audio. I wonder why.
I'm going to play the grunt part again.
I lost audio.
Thank you for allowing me to be in your home, in your woods.
Yeah, right there is the grunt.
Did you guys?
You can hear that, Matt?
Leave and come back.
Can you not hear us at all now?
I'm gonna try and redo it. I'll be right. I can't.
You can't hear us?
Okay.
That's weird. Well, we lost. Are you there? No, he's gone.
He'll be right back.
Anyone else? Anyone else hanging out with us? Who else we got? Chances on YouTube now. So okay. Anybody else hanging
watching?
around?
If you, those people on YouTube, go ahead and drop us a message if you want. Say something. Say hi. Say something.
Sure. Ask a question. Shoot us a question. Come on and ask a question. Tell us about your encounter. Tell us about your theories about anything.
Yeah.
Bigfoot.
It doesn't have to be Bigfoot. We'll talk about anything.
Yeah. I'm going to talk about stocks and bonds. I can't help you that much, but we could try. Oh, here we go. Heard it fine. Flat Rock says.
I figured got it and redo it, and it worked.
All right.
I hadn't heard any of the tape before, but I mean, I know what you guys heard. I mean, what do you say?
Something grunted at you, and something was knocking
Yep.
trees. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely tell that it wasn't fake. I mean, it was actually happening while you were talking.
Yeah, I mean, it's so distinct and that's why I was so happy about it. I was like, wow, see, now no one's going to doubt this one because you can hear my voice. You know what it sounds like from the recording. And
Right.
that's so different than me. And it's so, I mean, it couldn't be anything but a grunt. I mean, come on. You know, it was so telling. And again, what I had said to you guys earlier was, I mean, if I personally would think of what a Bigfoot is going to sound like when they grunt. I mean, that's it right there. So, it's awesome, and it's also freaky, isn't it? I mean, the fact that not only did I not hear a pretty loud grunt, which I would assume was relatively close. I don't know if it was in a tree above me. If I'd have looked up, maybe I would have saw it. I don't know, or if it's cloaked.
Maybe.
That's crazy.
well, yeah, I just lost my train of thought. Interesting. No, I was going to say is, you could say, well, maybe it was a wild boar or something like that, but there's no wild boars in Ohio.
No,
I don't think so.
I mean, I seriously doubt there's any wild boar in Ohio.
Yeah.
I don't think somebody let their pigs go running wild. I think you would know that. So, and I don't know how much bear you have, but I don't think bears make noises like that so much.
No.
And then that knocking on top of it.
I heard none of it. That's the craziest part is, I mean, even the wood knocking, I did not hear one.
Maybe you were being, maybe you were in a, what do they call that?
I kind of just stepped through the veil for a second. I was kind of in between, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe they were hitting you with infrasound.
Right.
Did you feel sick at all? I don't know. You said you were.
Oh, I was hurting. I was tired, sweaty, exhausted. But, I know when I'm pretty sure that when that dogman attack happened when I was younger, that we did get hit with some infrasound and at the very beginning of that when it saw us. But this, I don't think I felt sick or anything. I mean, it just felt like it's from, my butt was kicked from going up that darn trail. It just really makes you think, the fact that I didn't hear anything and that those obviously were there. And Russell Easterbrook listened to it and he said, wow, Matt, and at the end of my story, I just wanted to say real quick, not only was there a feather between my feet, I sent you guys the picture of that little miniature kind of electric yellow green, like gourd or something. It was like a mini gourd and it just appeared on that little, and there was nothing ahead. There was nothing up on top of me, no trees around me. Like I said, the sun was coming through, shining right in the middle area, more than where I was just sitting. But, there were no trees that could have dropped this thing onto that vegetation. So something left it there, in my opinion. And I felt like something was there. And the fact that I didn't hear anything, I didn't see anything, those things weren't there before. And, that it could be that loud, it just makes you so, head just can't wrap around of what's going on there. I know, you guys talk all the time about how physical are they or how supernatural are they? And there are just so many times that I've heard stories of supernatural things going on, especially with Dogman more or less these days too. The one thing I wanted to mention to you guys, I'm glad I'm talking to you. I was listening to your.
He'll be back. Brian Wall says, hey guys, been a listener from day one. Keep up the good work. Love the podcast. Thanks, Brian. Thanks for being here, man. We appreciate it.
Appreciate you, man. I
just wanted to mention one of your newest videos with the woman who had the Bray Road beast experience, and when she was a teenager. And I just wanted to mention, what she said that was so interesting to me was the night after she saw a dog man, she went back to the same area and she saw that orb. and she followed it, and she said that it actually seemed like it had intelligence, stopped and turned around and looked at her when she was following it. And that makes you think, is that's, in my opinion, there's a great chance that that might even be the Bray Road beast. So another supernatural thing, that could be the exact same thing. It could be not even its natural form, that maybe it feels threatened by humans, just like we do about other cryptids, turns itself into maybe something that would scare every human if you ran into it. Or it could just be it's a dog man and it just has supernatural powers. I found that really interesting about that orb, the same, place, different night.
Yeah, we do too. I mean, we hear so much about that relevance, even with Bigfoot and the lights. And I've seen some shows where these guys were having a bunch of interaction in their backyard, and then they have a video of a light snaking around a tree, doing this weird motion. I mean, it's just so, what is going on here? It's almost like they can change their form of frequency and become light or orbs or move around that way. And maybe the dog man has that capability too. I meant to ask you though, Matt, back to your encounter.
Mm-hmm.
Did you tell us that warehouse has been knocked down, no longer there, or is it still there?
Yes, it's knocked down. If you look,
okay,
disappointingly, because I wanted to go back and I didn't know they demolished it either. And I did a Google overhead view, and you can see actually like maybe tiny piles of where the buildings used to be, but they've knocked it down, and it goes right by. It's just that big new, I gotta remember whatever the name of that steel place is that's there now, but they've made use of all of the land around there. So they knocked it was the blast furnace area and a few buildings around it. But did I ever send you guys the picture of it?
I don't know if you did or not. I can't remember. It's been a while.
Beautiful picture I'll send you of it, and it's literally, and it explains everything perfect too. It shows the building. I'll point out the building to you, and it shows the railroad tracks going right in front of the building, and
So you have a picture of it back in the day.
It's an older picture. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. When it was still there. Okay.
Really perfect and telling, and I was so happy when I saw it. So I'll send it.
So again, we appreciate you for being first on our show as far as your encounter goes. But I know you've been on a ton. I mean, how many different podcasts and shows have you been on since you were on our show? What, a few months ago? I mean, you've been on what? 15, 20?
15 probably. I'm actually going to be on is it Michigan Bigfoot Rob or Rob Big? Yeah. He wants me on. I'm actually the one. I am excited to be on anybody's show. I'm honored. And I've done a ton. It's got me in touch with people. I have new relationships and things. But I'm working with Sibylla Irwin right now. And, she does renderings of people's experience. I don't know if she used to work as a sketch artist for a police officer or for a police department, but she is that type of artist. And what she does is she has a show where she, for however long it takes, months and months, works with.
And now a word from our sponsor.
We're going to figure this out eventually.
That's
We're using a new program this time, so bear with us, everyone.
We may not use it again.
Maybe after this.
But she works with people that have experiences, and she goes as far as it needs be to make whatever look like Bettina Moss was on there. So if you go find her website, and you'll see what Bettina Moss saw, and they made it, and it's creepy looking, and I won't give anything away because that's her experience. But she does a great job. She worked with the Ernie Davio that I told you guys I'm going to get you in touch with, and she's incredible. So I'm working with her, and I'm working with a few other people, and I've gotten to be friends with Josh Turner, Paranormal Roundtable, and I'm going to go down to his conference in September 1st through the 3rd. It's the 2nd annual Dogman and Cryptid conference by Paranormal Roundtable. And Josh asked me to be in his book. I think he's releasing it there smartly. And Ken Gerhardt actually helped write his book and did a lot of things.
Ken, that's another one I want to get on the show. Ken Gerhardt.
He's awesome, and he talked to me when the interviews were happening for the book, and it was an honor. I mean, he's like one of the OGs, boy. He's one of the best.
Yeah, he's been around for a while.
Yeah, and I can't even remember how many shows I remember watching with him in, and Missing in Alaska, and all kinds of other cryptid shows, and but it's been fun, and the thing that I am most interested about is just getting to meet all these different people, and like Martin, is it Groves? Martin Groves that had the land.
Yeah.
He's going to be down in Texas, and I cannot tell you guys how pumped I am, because him and his partner had a life-threatening Dogman experience that ended weirdly with Bigfoot too.
Actually, he's another one that's going to be in Tennessee in October.
Yeah.
So,
and
we definitely want to talk to him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And we've been talking on Facebook, and we both agreed that, man, we get to meet. It will be really awesome. If, this was before I knew I was going. And he's like, it'll happen, brother. Trust me. He's like, well, we're meant to meet. We had that happen. We can really share some stuff. And I have questions for him too, because that was an amazing, incredible experience that he had. And
I'm not sure I've heard or remember it. Can you briefly kind of tell us what happened to
him? He used to be a police officer in Tennessee, and so did his partner. And they went to Land Between the Lakes to just do some hunting. And they had a campsite there, and they separated on the first day and went separate ways to kind of scope out hunting areas, and started having things happening, like, some knocks and things getting thrown at them. And Martin was actually heading back to his campsite. It was getting dark, and he started noticing what looked like a man, maybe in a ghillie suit or a hunter, off to his right. And then he he caught wind that there was sound, like dogs or animals were shadowing him just inside the trees, and he couldn't see them. But whenever he stopped, the sound stopped, and he started getting nervous, and chambered his shotgun, and he thought he saw by a tree the guy in the supposed ghillie suit smoking a cigarette, because he saw like red. He said, I'm a police officer. I see people, trying to hide cigarettes to hide the cherry. He said, that's what it looked like to me. But that wasn't a cigarette. And he got back to the camp, and his partner was all bent out of shape.
Yeah.
And
we'll get there.
He thought his partner was upset with him because he was gone for a long time. And he said, hey, man, I'm sorry. He said, no, something's going on. I think either hunters are mad that we're in their area. He said, I was in a cornfield setting up, and something kept throwing things at me. And then I started, and they had heard, Martin and him said that they both had heard like whistles and screams. And, I don't know if you guys are familiar with like this new kind of happening, where I think I mentioned it to you, Todd, one time, about the scraping of kind of like a door scraping on concrete in the woods. Have you guys heard about that?
The metal, I've heard metal slamming, like people hear car doors slamming.
Yeah, or
metal on metal, or metal. Yeah.
And it was in that missing 411 about the old gentleman who unfortunately disappeared. And his partner was probably about a couple hundred yards from him. He said he heard something that had no reason to be in the woods, like metal scraping on something, or a metal trap going off. It seems like that has, a lot of stories I've heard, has signaled either Bigfoot or Dogman or both. And what happened is they both said somebody's somebody's messing with them. And then all of a sudden they noticed something out along the far trees, like there people that were coming into their camp. And the closer it got, he saw it was a dog man, and they got hit with strong waves of these things growling with the infrasound, and they both were almost completely just on the ground. And he said he just started praying to God, and he got strength, and he was able to lift his shotgun finally and shot at this one that he said was within, I think, less than 10 feet from him. And he said it shot up like a cannon, climbed up a rock wall, and disappeared over the top. And then he said he had noticed out of the corner of his eye, his partner lifted his gun, his service revolver, and started firing at, I guess, another one. And these things were attacking them, and they had supposedly shot one, but they could tell there were more, and they were coming in. So his partner got in a pickup and started it up, and he hopped in, and they were leaving, and his partner actually hit one with the car. But he said when his partner hit the lights, he's banging on the roof and he's saying, "You got to go, got to go." And they're tearing up their camp as they're doing this. He said the lights turned on, and he said across from where the truck was a cornfield where his partner had talked he was in earlier that day, getting things thrown at him. And he said standing there was two Bigfoot. One went down on all fours, and another was just standing there giving him the most hateful, evil look he'd ever seen. And he said he just stared at it, and it stared at him as they drove away and took off. And that was when they hit one, and his partner screamed, "I got one, I got one." He didn't know what he was talking about. And he's in the back, so he's getting thrown around, and he yells at him, tells them, if they got maybe a mile or so away, let me in. I want in that truck now. And they took off and got to a clearing actually went to a officer or to a main building, and there was no forest rangers there. And they ended up his partner wanted to leave. He wanted to just leave this behind and go. And he said, "We're not doing that. I refuse. We're police officers. We were almost just killed by things we never knew existed before. We're not going anywhere." And he basically had to force his partner to stay, and they ended up deciding they were going to find somewhere to chill out. They found a big clearing where they could see all around them, and they were kind of up overlooking the woods. So if they saw anything coming, they'd be able to. And I guess he gets into specifics. I don't. He gets into specifics I don't want to take from him, but he just basically said that they were a mess. They need to clean up. And the next morning, and overnight, nothing happened. They got to another different forest ranger stand there. News trucks and cars everywhere, and police cars and federal trucks. And they went in, basically told the forest ranger, "Hey, we had some creatures come in our camp last night, almost kill us. I need to talk about this." And he immediately grabs them and runs him off and starts shushing him and telling him not to talk out loud. And his partner was outside showing a bunch of police officers what had happened. I guess they had claw marks down the side of the truck. And other forest ranger went out and started talking to him, shushing him up. What they found out is that what I had neglected to say is Martin had met another hunter who was crossbow hunting, and they just got along and said, "If you're near, he said, 'Hey, my campsite's over that way if you guys want to stop and say hi.'" And they just exchanged niceties. Well, apparently, and you can look into police blotters and everything. According to Martin, said, this is what really happened down there is some hunter who was a crossbow hunter was pulled out of his tent and killed and predated upon, so they were eating on him. And apparently this is a true story, and they have there's proof of this. And
Wow.
that's why there was all this there. So they're trying to make everybody say it was a bear, telling Martin and his partner, "You guys just saw a bear." And he said he got real pissed off. And we're both police officers, we know what we saw. Don't tell me we saw a bear. and they got into it, and the one forest ranger was trying to get him arrested by federal means and called his sheriff, and his sheriff, just of course just covered for his boys and said, leave them alone, and you do something, I'll come up there and take care of you myself. And there were some other police there that they knew, state police, who were on their side, but they basically were so angry by the treatment they got from the Forest Service, who was obviously covering things up. They left, and his partner's dead now.
And that is why the government will never let us know what's going on.
Right. And it's an incredible story, and I recommend to anyone, not just you two, anybody listening right now, if you don't know Martin Grove's LBL story, you need a listen. And we're
gonna try and get him on the show for sure.
Yeah. Oh, please do. Yeah, that'll be awesome.
I think I've sent him a message on Facebook before, but I don't.
To him. I will try to help you, boy.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, do that. We appreciate that.
For
Matt.
sure.
That'd be awesome,
for sure. Man. Yeah.
So was it? Did they think it was Dogman that killed them?
Yeah, they think
eating this guy.
And he said, as they drove away from their camp, they said these things were just purposely destroying their tents, looking for other people, and they do believe that it was a Dogman that did it, because they said that they had marks on them that no other animals in the area have, and they were just too severe, and it was very obvious, when they did the tests and stuff, that it was a different animal altogether. And I find it very, very interesting that he saw Bigfoot, and I said there was a big one and like a more like skinnier one that got down, and you hear those stories about sometimes they crawl like spiders and stuff like that. He said a spider kind of stance, which is creepy as hell. Wes Germer, actually, when he had his experience, said that one of them did that. So, that's, but hearing a lot of things that maybe not the Dogman and Sasquatch, I'm sure there are occasions where they butt heads, but there's been more and more things that I've been learning about lately in my research that I've been doing, is there's people really thinking that quite possibly there's like a symbiotic relationship going on there between the Dogman.
There could be. Why not? Why wouldn't there be? I mean,
right, and that they almost use these Dogmen as their hunting dogs in a sense, and that just made sense if you think about when he was driving away. This Bigfoot were off kind of from afar watching what was going on. These things came into the camp as like the cannon fodder. Kind of makes you wonder, maybe they were, and then they said they heard that metal noise. Are they doing something to make a noise that controls them? Is that the sound of a portal opening? It just kind of makes you think what's going on there.
Maybe it's like a Dogman dog whistle.
True.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's what I thought. If they do control them, him making whatever noise, you think of a Bigfoot, how massive monsters they are. The one I remember another police officer explained them beautifully. He said him and his wife were looking for ginseng. They were on a four-wheeler, and he looked up and saw a Bigfoot, and he said to his wife, look, and she freaks out. Oh my God, no. Oh my God, no. And he said they took off, and he said, the best way I can describe the size of these things is like if you took a piece of plywood out of like Home Depot, and you know how giant those are. He said it was like a huge piece of plywood. He said, I'm not saying that they do it all. He said, but you hear about people that go missing, and it makes you wonder. You see how big these things are. They could just snatch a person up, easy. I believe that with Bigfoot and with Dogmen, I believe that there are just like people. There's good ones, there's bad ones. There's one that cause a lot of harm. There's some that eat people. I think there's a whole range. And, with the Dogmen, I don't think they all look the same. Everything I've been hearing, over the years, people talking about them and experiences that I find where I hear things I can compare what happened to me. And that's when I start to really listen, because I'm like, okay, I know what I saw. If I hear some people talking about some things that I saw, then I sit up and I'm like, okay, let's hear what you're saying. And it just really seems like, you have so many different breeds of dogs, And there's been a lot of experiences where people are seeing Doberman Pinscher type dog men, German Shepherd type dog men. I saw more of a wolf like dog man. Bettina Moss saw more of like a pit bull dog man. So I've seen pictures of some that look like white German Shepherds and less scary looking. I'm gonna tell you, what I saw. But yeah, I think that there are different ones out there. What do you guys think of that?
Oh, I'm sure there's different breeds.
Types, yeah. There's definitely, like, there's different types of Bigfoot. Why wouldn't there be different types of dog man?
Right.
I think it also probably much like Bigfoot depends on the area of the country they're in. Terrain plays a big part in that.
Yeah, I have also found out over the last couple of years, like how haunted and supernatural Ohio is that I live in. It's got a lot going on in it.
Yeah, that was news to us too after we started this podcast. We're like, Ohio, that's our backyard, man.
Yeah, and
I
talk about it too, about just
it's crazy.
There's a book series out there called like Mysterious Michigan. I've got that. Mysterious Oregon. Maybe not. They're all along the same lines. They may not be mysterious everything, but creepy or weird.
Mm-hmm.
Weird Oregon, Mysterious Michigan. But they're the same formatted books, and there's one for every state. We gotta find the one for Ohio. I bet there's a lot of interesting stuff
in there.
Yeah, I'm gonna look for it now too. If I find it first, I will definitely let you guys know.
If not, you can write it.
True.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
That would.
I mean, you've had enough going on already that.
Yeah. I have.
Mm-hmm. All right. Why can't we hear you now, Matt?
Yep, your sound is can't hear you, Matt. You can't hear you, buddy. Can't hear you. Is he looking at me? He can't hear you. He's talking, but we can't hear him. For the listeners, episode 116, Something Out of a Nightmare. Make sure you guys check that out.
Go check out Matt's encounter. That was wild.
I can't hear you. No, we can't hear you, Matt. I can't hear you. We're trying to tell him we can't hear him. There he goes.
I was just gonna mess.
But yeah, it's a very, very interesting.
Well, let's see if we get him back this time. Say something. Nope. Still
nope. Well, that's too bad, Matt. It was good having you on. Regardless,
thanks for joining us, Matt. That was fun. And now we know we definitely got to get some other people on the show.
Oh yeah, I want to talk to his friend Ernie. I wonder what happened with Ernie.
No,
he said he had a tremendous Bigfoot experience, so we'll have to see what's going on with that.
Well,
I'll reach out to him
and tell another story.
Do what?
So I don't need to tell him another story.
No, that's right. Yeah, I'm saying I'll reach out to him. So
but, yeah, we definitely got to get Martin Groves on here. His friend,
yeah, for sure. Chance, it was awesome having you here, and Brian, thanks for messaging us here.
Yep.
Everybody else,
there were some other people next out there that were on that I wish they would have piped up and said hello. I mean, we have Messenger. You can shoot us a message.
Yeah, you guys, definitely. If you don't want to ask on this one, then reach out to us and
say something,
and we'll get to you.
Say something, Matt.
Are you there, Matt? You're there.
Yes, I reset again. This is weird tonight.
I know, man. I think next time we'll just use YouTube and cut out the middleman.
No problem. Yeah. Hey, it is what it is. It happens.
Yep.
But
yeah, man. Thanks for being here with us, Matt. Yeah, appreciate you coming back on and sharing your stories again and being here on this live show with us and help us keep this rolling tonight. We appreciate that.
Yeah, and get your friend Ernie our email and get him in touch with us.
I will. I'll be actually going to go to Hocking Hills this week, and I'm going to see Ernie down there. So
cool.
Awesome. Yeah, we wanted to go to that, but there was no availability, unfortunately. There's waiting lists.
I'll see you. I will get to where you guys are soon. Trust me. All right.
Right on, brother. Right on.
It was good.
All right, Matt.
All right,
We'll
Matt,
see
it's
you.
always good, man. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, all right. Well, at least
All right, with
at least
that.
we got him back on to say goodbye, so that was cool.
Right. Yeah. Matt, he's had quite the experience. Like I said, episode 116, if you guys want to check it out. And I would say check it out for
Oh
sure.
yeah, listen to it. It's definitely an encounter worth listening to.
Right. And Brian Wall, thank you again for being here and listening.
Yep, we appreciate you finding the
Chance,
show
thank
and
you.
hanging out with us. And next time, I promise we'll go right to YouTube. We'll just cut everything out. So hopefully we won't have any more
Yeah.
problems with the.
We'll have a better system.
Yep.
So again, thanks you guys, and hopefully next time, which will be sometime soon down the road, we'll have more people on. So we'll have more guests set up. So
Yeah, I mean, this is basically our first time really trying to do this. So
right, and if there's a past guest that you guys really enjoyed and would like to talk to, maybe one-on-one,
yeah, let us know.
we could bring them
we
back
can bring
on and
them
let you
back
guys
too.
interact with
Sure.
them. Absolutely. Just let us know what guests you'd be interested in hearing or talking more to, or asking some questions. Even if you don't want to come on and talk, you can message us here on the side and the little notes
Absolutely.
there, and ask all kinds of questions. So
Yep.
you don't have to actually come on and be on.
Yeah, we won't
talk.
ambush it like we did Chance.
Yeah, but he did awesome.
Great.
Good job,
he did great,
Chance.
Thank you for that.
Good
again.
job, man. Yep. Get back out there and keep looking. And when you see something, let us
That's
know.
right.
Same goes for everybody else. You guys see something, get a hold of us, reach out to us, shoot us an email, info@cryptidcreatures.co.
That's right.
Go to our
Yeah, you
website,
can put it on there
www.cryptidcreatures.net.
as a story.
Yep. Social media. So
Right.
thanks again,
We're
everyone.
everywhere.
We appreciate it. Brian, great hanging out with you again, my
Always
friend.
fun, brother. Always learning. I love this.
All right. I do too. We'll do this again soon. What do you say?
Yep. See ya.